Today I've got a comparison between the Thrunite TH10 and the Nitecore HC50 headlamps. As I've mentioned in some of my other videos, a lot of the flashlight companies are starting to get into making headlamps, a market that I think was previously dominated by things like this black diamond headlamp, one I've been using for a while, just the sort of the more plastic versions of the headlamps. And they're good, but a lot of the flashlight companies, like I said, are starting to get into the headlamps themselves. I think some of the advantages, initially I thought it was the weatherproofing, but the black diamond one here, this is IPX7 rated. These are both IPX8 rated, so there's not a lot of difference there. They are metal, so they're going to be a little bit more tough if you're falling, bashing your head a lot. But I think the other big advantages of the ones from the flashlight companies is that they are a lot brighter. This black diamond is 160 lumens. The Nitecore is 565 lumens and the Thrunite is 750 lumens, so quite a bit more brightness. The other advantage I think is that the user interface, at least in my N of 3 here, is much simpler on the flashlight ones. This black diamond one, it has a couple different lights here and one button, and every time I get it, so I hold it and the red light comes on, I hold it, if I press it again, that's the main light. I triple clicked it and I got the outside lights. If I hold those, they looks like they get brighter and dimmer. I don't know, every time I get this, it's kind of a guessing game of how I go between all the different modes. And I guess if I read the directions, it would be okay, but it's not as intuitive. With these, get this out of the way, the user interface on them, it was a while between when I got them and when I started doing the videos on them. The user interface, it didn't require me to read the directions because they are both very straightforward. They both just have one button, but the modes are intuitive to figure out without all these stuff that like this black diamond one has. So I appreciate that as well. I'll put links to both these in the description down below if you want to check them out on Amazon. The price on the two of these, $39.95 for the Thrunite, $45.95 for the Nitecore. I will do my best to keep the name correct with both of these. It's tough sometimes in these comparison videos, but we'll see how it goes. The construction of both of these, they're both somewhat similar. They both have an over-the-top headpiece here because these metal ones from the flashlight companies, they are a little bit heavier. Compared to this one, this was, I think, 3.8 ounces, and these are up around 6.2 ounces, both about the same when I weigh these. So it's a couple ounces heavier, and because of that, both of these have the up over your head piece here to give it a little bit more support. And they're both comfortable. I've worn them around, and they're both comfortable to wear. They also both have metal construction. They're both IPX8 rated. They're both aircraft grade aluminum, and they both sit in this housing, which is a rubberized, well, it's not rubberized, it is rubber here. And so it's flexible on the back again compared to something like the black diamond here, which is just plastic. And not that this is uncomfortable, but I think the rubber ones on this that are going to mold to your forehead a little bit more may be a little bit more comfortable. So they both have the strap that goes through there, and then they both have this ring-like, I don't know how to otherwise describe it, structure here that the headlamp fits in. In both cases, you can angle the lamp up or down, and it sits in there just from the friction in that rubber. And it's just loose enough that you can turn it without much trouble, but it's just enough so that it will stay in whatever position you put it in. So I like that. So you can move it up and down. This one, it kind of clicks into place. It's a little bit different setup there. They both use the same batteries. They both use either 18650 or 2CR123s. They both have the same XM-L2 LED. Weight-wise, like I said, they're both about 6.2 ounces. Size, you can see they are a little bit different. The Thrunite is a little bit thinner, but then the Thrunite sticks out the front. The Nitecore is a little bit thicker, but is just a tube. The user interfaces on these are both fairly intuitive, like I said. The Thrunite, they both have a single button. The Thrunite, if you long press it, it goes into the moonlight mode, 0.2 lumens. It'll do that for 65 days. On the Nitecore, if you long press it, it has the red lights which will come on, which is nice, helps with your night vision. By that token, 0.2 lumens though, you're not going to lose your night vision at 0.2 lumens. I do like that it has the red light option. The Thrunite then will come on, oops, The Thrunite then will come on to a minimum brightness of 1 lumen. So 0.2 lumens low here, 1 lumen here. 0.2 is plenty, I say this in all my videos, it's plenty bright and when your eyes are adjusted. So 0.2 lumens here, red lights here. I think it's a toss-up, whichever you prefer. It is nice that they have the red light option here. Going up from there, the Thrunite goes up to the next brightness, 11 lumens. The Nitecore goes up to 35 lumens. And then placed where they're most comparable, 172 lumens for the Thrunite and 170 lumens for the Nitecore. Now, one of the advantages of the Thrunite is that you get more time for the battery. This will do 172 lumens for 9 hours. The Nitecore will do 170 lumens for 6 hours, 15 minutes. So you're getting much more battery life out of the Thrunite. On up from there, then the Thrunite always goes down to the lower one. 490 lumens and 350 lumens, and then up into their turbo mode. Oh, you get to that by double clicking here. 750 lumens and 565 lumens. The Thrunite is going to do 750 lumens for 2 hours. The Nitecore is going to do 565 lumens for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So again, win for the Thrunite, brighter, longer battery life as compared to the Nitecore. And then off. They do both have some blinking modes. The Thrunite, if you double click it, it goes into the turbo mode, and then you double click it again and it goes into sort of a fast SOS. The blinking modes, I never use them. I think I've used them once or twice on my regular flashlights. So if you want them, they're there. I like that they're hidden. That's one of the Thrunite. The Nitecore has a few other modes. When it's on, if you turn it off and back on, try again. When it's on, quick off and back on, there's a couple different blinking modes. There's just a regular beacon. Half press again, you get a quick blip type beacon. A SOS. And then back to the beginning. So a couple extra blinking modes on the Nitecore if you want them. Again, I don't really use them that much, but depending on your situation, you may find that nice. The Nitecore does have a battery notification mode, so when you first turn it on, this will flash green to show you green shows more than 50% battery life. If it's red, it's less than 50%, and if it's blinking red, that means the battery is on its way out and you better change it. I believe they will both ramp down after a period of time at turbo to help save with the battery life and help save with the overheating. The beam pattern on these is a little bit different. The Thrunite has a much more focused beam, so it's going to throw farther, 148 meters it's rated at. The Nitecore has a much wider beam, and so it's rated to throw 85 lumens. We'll take this outside and have a look at that. Actually, let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's go look at these two lights outside in the dark here, the Nitecore here, the Thrunite here. The biggest difference between these two lights is going to be the beam pattern. I apologize for all the wind out here tonight, but they both have a moonlight mode, which is there and there. And as I back up, you can see that the Thrunite over here has a much more focused beam pattern compared to the Nitecore, which is so much more diffuse that it almost doesn't show up. Ramping up from there to the full brightnesses on each of these. Here you go again. The Thrunite here on this side has a much more focused beam pattern compared to the other one over here. And looking out here, you can see it really just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a flashlight, a headlamp that's going to have a much more focused beam pattern so you can see into the distance, then the Thrunite is probably going to be the better choice for you. However, if you want something that you're going to be more diffuse, going to get a lot more flood, a lot more spill, then the Nitecore is going to be the better choice for you. So it really just depends. They're both plenty bright. It just depends on what you're looking for. I would like to see Thrunite come out with a couple more options as far as the spill pattern. Nitecore has, I think, 4 different headlamps. This is the Thrunite's first option here. So I think as time goes on, they might come out with some more options, hopefully. But again, they're both great lights. Check them both out. I'll put some links down into the description below to Amazon and see what you think of them. But put some comments, let me know if you got these lights and what you think of them.